Broadcasting from Tagaytay, Philippines.
And good morning. Welcome to another day on the Star Wars Family Channel.
Good morning.
And we are out for a little walk through the neighborhood. As you guys know, it is still COVID right now. So a lot of stuff is still under quarantine. And so that means you gotta wear masks and face shields and all that kind of stuff. So right now we're just gonna take a walk through the neighborhood so we don't have to do all that. Right?
Yeah. We're just barely waking up. And we decided instead of going out, we're just gonna walk inside the neighborhood this morning. We were supposed to bring some of the kids. They're not allowed out, but after MGCQ, kids are now allowed just inside the neighborhood. But they're still sleeping, so I guess it's just the two of us.
All right, well, let's go. So continuing our morning walk through the neighborhood. Of course, you never know what you'll find, and so here behind us you have a very large selection of
Papaya trees.
Somebody bambooed it off so you can't go in there and steal their papayas.
It even has a padlock. Normally you'd see papaya trees here just out in the wild or neighbors' backyards, but it's the first time we're seeing papaya trees that were really locked up. I guess someone is really stealing the papayas.
Yes. So I just want to give you a quick good morning and guess update you on our channel and update you as where we are. Those of you tuning in that know us or know one of us know that we were in Las Vegas. That is actually where we met and where we're originally, or where we came from. And we are now
In the Philippines. We are in Tagaytay right now, and we arrived here last October. So we will be celebrating our 1 year, especially Scott's first year in the Philippines, next month. And just to give you a little background, we've been trying to find our home since June of 2019, and then when we finally came here in October, we checked out houses in Pasig, in Manila, and then there was one agent who brought us to Tagaytay and just fell in love with Tagaytay. It's the breeze, actually, the cool breeze that convinced Scott.
yeah, it's a great area though too. It's not nearly as congested. Those of you who are from here know that Manila is crazy traffic, and you know, for those of you watching from the States, crazy traffic like worse than or as bad as LA or California.
And pollution there is really bad too, so we don't want that. And yeah, so when we finally found our house here, that's back in December, that's when we started getting the house set up. All of their stuff came, and then we were able to celebrate Christmas with the family, and then New Year's, and then came the Taal volcano eruption. It erupted January 16th, and when it erupted,
And of course, most of you might ask, you know, when or why we decided to live here if there's a volcano. Just so you know, that volcano hasn't erupted since 1977, so wasn't like it was really expected. Just kind of out of nowhere. It was kind of our welcome to the Philippines. And so,
welcome blast.
yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, for something that I've never been through, and I'm sure most people haven't been through a volcanic eruption, it was a little scary, and it was mostly scary because we didn't have transportation.
Yes, we didn't have a car yet at that time. I guess the last time I was affected, because I've seen so many eruptions on TV or in the Philippines, but I think back in 1991 was when Mount Pinatubo ashfall reached Manila. I was a kid back then, and the ashfall reached Manila, which is like 2 hours travel from Mount Pinatubo. So it was really different to see a volcano eruption and have it affect you, because while it was happening, we weren't even rattling or we weren't planning on evacuating, but you can see the volcano erupting from Macy's window in her room. So we were just, what you can see, what, look at it, but we're not really scared yet at that time. And then the brownout came, which was the deciding factor that we had to evacuate.
Yeah, that was kind of the final straw. I mean, once you lose power, obviously for me, we lost the aircon, which was vital. I mean,
but we knew that it wasn't coming back like soon. That's why we decided to evacuate. So try to contact vehicles for rent, but everyone was declining us because of the
ashfall.
The ash on the roads, and they said that it's very traffic. It happened on a Sunday, so if you can imagine, all tourists are here, and then they're all going back to Manila, so the traffic was really, really bad.
Yeah, so the first day of the eruption, I mean, we actually stayed overnight because we literally had to find a way out, had to find a ride. So really crazy. I mean, throughout the night, you could hear the volcanic rock and the ash continuing to fall, continuing to hit the house. Really didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, you would hear rocks falling on our roof, and I thought it was just, because it was raining too, and I thought it was just big drops of rain. And then when I came out, I'm like, why are there rocks outside the house? So that's definitely some volcanic rocks.
Yeah, and we'll post some pictures probably on our Instagram and our Facebook page, just kind of flashing back to those times and what we experienced. But the big thing to keep in mind is just because the volcano went off, that really wasn't quite enough. The ashfall was scary, but throughout that night there was probably, I don't even remember, like 23 earthquakes.
Earthquakes more than, and it got really scary at 5 a.m. That was the scariest. I can forget that because I'm a deep sleeper, and even if there's an eruption going on, I still manage to sleep. But that 5 a.m. earthquake woke me up, and it's really scary.
Yeah, so that and the brownout, I mean, those were kind of the final straw. We were like, we got to go. We got to figure out how to get out of here. So we're literally contacting every driver that we know. Finally locate one who comes in to get us. And needless to say, we were evacuated for 2 weeks. Spent 2 weeks in Manila.
First week in Diamond Hotel, which was really nice of an experience for the kids and for my mom and Tati. My mom was still with us at that time, so really helped with the evacuation. And it was a nice day, and
yeah, it was an unexpected break.
Hi to Ken's girlfriends at Diamond Hotel.
yeah, the boys enjoyed themselves. They enjoyed the morning buffets and the hotel itself because it was so high up, and You know, they could see the boats and the waterfront because it was there on Manila Bay. So you can kind of see everything from there. And overall, I mean, it was a good experience, but of course we couldn't wait to get home. Because, you know, we had just bought this house. We hadn't even been in the house more than a month. And, you know, here we are evacuating it, leaving it behind. So we were really curious what we were going to come home to. Had no idea.
So after Diamond Hotel, we transferred to more budget-friendly hotel in Pasig, since we also want to check on some stuff at Mega Mall. And so we went there with the boys. My mom, Tati, and the girls went back to Trece with Maven, and then we stayed there only for, was it just overnight, 2 days?
I think it was just overnight. Yeah, so the whole thing was that we were trying to get back home, and we didn't know whether we could get back home. We didn't know whether the roads were open. They were saying a lot of places, you know, were closed. They weren't letting people back in. So obviously we didn't want to go too far and then not have a place to stay. So yeah, we played around with the idea, but we wound up in Pasig. And then as we tried to get closer to the house, we wound up actually
At Bayleaf.
Yeah,
So we wanted to be closer because it's been over a week, so we want to get closer to the house and closer to Mom and the kids in Trece. So we stayed in Bayleaf, which has very, very yummy food. So still Momo and Kenken with us, and then it was a nice day. But the second day we were there, I went to the house to check on the house here in Tagaytay, and the horrible surprise was the fridge, because we just went to SNR before the eruption, and then we left.
SNR is like the big warehouse grocery store, like going to Costco or going to Sam's.
Yeah, so when we left the fridge full over a week before I came back, it was filled with frozen meat and everything you can imagine. So when I entered the door, you can already smell it. So it was really gross, but it's a good thing we were able to manage, and we didn't come home right after. So I was able to clean the fridge and not use it for like a week, because I had to disinfect it and then clean it up really good. And then, so when we had workers, were able to clean up the house, the roof and all the ash, that's when we decided that the girls and Mom and the kids are already safe to come back.
Yeah, so needless to say, when we said there was a power outage, it wasn't a day or 2 days. Really turned out to be, I think, even more than 7 days of power outage. So
More than a week, yeah.
yeah, so needless to say, it wasn't even an option to stay at the house. But yeah, because of that, we lost quite a bit of our food, which was a real disappointment. And then if you follow our Instagram, we'll post some pictures online of actually what the house looked like. And again, when we first got this house, you know, it was mostly in good working order, but you know, the owner at the time had offered to fix some things, including painting the exterior and getting a fresh coat of paint on the house, and you know, just doing some minor repairs. But as you can imagine, with the ashfall, kind of ruined all that. So you know, just as soon as we get the house in order and it looks nice, we have ashfall. So the ashfall happens, continues to delay the rest of the repairs on the house. We'll give you more on that story a different time. But you know, we eventually got back to the house, eventually got it cleaned up, and kind of been there ever since.
And then
Yeah. And
the
then,
magic of
yeah, the long story short, COVID happened.
COVID. We still had some adventures. We went to Baguio, we went to my sister's wedding in Tarlac. We'll cover that in a different vlog, but we'll show you that we've kind of had some tour around. Scott was able to feel Baguio, which he thinks isn't as cool as I often described.
Yeah, I kept hearing how cold Baguio was, but we'll cover that later because yeah, it's not that cold, guys. In any event, we got settled here, and you know, we had lots of plans. Just so you know, one of our big goals when we got here is to open up a Star Wars cafe. Really excited to do that. As a lot of you know, I have quite a bit of collectibles, quite a large collection, and you know, we thought the best way to share that was to open a cafe. It's very popular here in the Philippines. People love little hot spots to go to and take pictures and just you know, just have some place that they can enjoy, especially here in Tagaytay. You know, they come out for their staycation, so they're always looking for a new place to go, and so it just made a lot of sense to us. You know, we'll get a cafe going, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have a theme to it. But needless to say, we've delayed those plans quite a bit due to the lockdown. I'm sure any of you small business owners know that it's not the most ideal time to open a business during lockdown. So we've postponed that, and that's part of why we started this channel, hoping to get some support and hoping to get some interest. And, you know, of course, through all of that, we'll hopefully be able to open the Forest Moon Cafe. There is a Facebook page out there for it, because we were really thinking that we were going to be opening it soon, but for now you can definitely follow the Facebook page, but we'll try to have some updates there maybe. But in the meantime, we've decided to start the Star Wars Family channel, mostly because once we got here and once the kids finally got to see all the Star Wars films, which some probably didn't know anything about Star Wars at all, guess what? They all really like it. And it didn't really take a lot of my influence. I'm sure most of you are saying, oh yeah, because Dad liked it. But in reality, I mean, I didn't really force it on them. You know, we watched the movies, and ever since watching the movies, they, you know, hum the Imperial March and and you know, get excited for anything Star Wars or any stormtroopers. So that's a little bit more about us, but yeah, that's why we created the 4120 Stormtrooper Squadron. 4120 is the zip code out here. Zip codes are not readily used here in the Philippines, so some people in the Philippines might not even know that their zip code is 4120. So it's kind of our little, I don't know,
Code
yeah, our little code of fun
of our squadron.
So yeah, 4120 is the Stormtrooper Squadron for us and the kids. We assigned each of them an FN number, and you know, we'll cover that more in another video. But we are now back at the house, and so, you know, I think we will sign off from here. And we, as always, thank you for tuning in, and please hit the subscribe button because we need as many followers as possible. Like I said, our goal is to open the cafe. That is the main goal. But for now, we just decided that, you know, we'd share a little look into our lives and hopefully answer some of your questions. Happy to do that. We'll try to do some live feeds in the future, and this way we can, you know, share as much of our adventures with you as we can. Once lockdown is fully lifted, we plan to go to a lot of places here in the Philippines. Obviously, we'll return to the States at some point. So, you know, definitely continue to follow us because we're going to cover a lot of things, a lot of material. We're not just limited to Star Wars. It is our theme, and for us, Star Wars is all about family, our family, your family, the families that are watching at home. You know, so we just really wanted to give it a family theme, and obviously Star Wars is great, but you know, you're going to see a lot of content from us, guys. So you'll see everything from restaurant reviews to, you know, cooking recipes to gardening. I mean, you name it, we're going to cover it all because we do it all, you know, and I know a lot of channels are really dedicated to very specific things. We follow a few pages ourselves, and, you know, a lot of them are travel vloggers that are here in the Philippines. And guess what? Right now, they don't have anything to talk about because they're not traveling. So we didn't want to limit ourselves to any one topic. So we hope you guys find that more interesting so that we can cover a lot more things, give you a lot more content, and like I said, most importantly, give you a peek into our lives and just the fun that we're having.
Yeah.
So
if you have any suggestions, don't forget to comment below. If you want us to cover any specific topic, if you want us to check out some places, if you're new here in the Philippines, you're new here in Tagaytay, especially in Tagaytay, since it's still we're still in quarantine, so we choose to go just around Tagaytay or in Santa Rosa. If you have any places that you want us to check out, just feel free to comment below, and then we'll see.
all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in.
Yep.
And of course, we appreciate the support. And
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
yeah,
And hit the bell button so you get updates from us. Okay? May the force be with you.
always.
Mama Pig Productions.